What's up, everyone? It's your girl Rossi, and I am back with another amazing show. I hope you guys enjoyed YNG4L. He was on a week or so, well, actually 2 weeks ago, he was on, and great guy. Every time I meet these guys, it's just like the other things that they're involved with. It's like, wow, I have this conception of who they are, and then I meet him like YG, and he's like a realtor, but also makes music and makes dope music, but we have tonight Afiliyado, aka Sac God, affiliate in the studio again with your girl Rossi, and we're welcoming him back. He has a new album out, Heavy Foo. Listen to a lot of it today. You guys will be able to find all of this music and everything will be in the description of the video. But let's talk to Afiliyado. All right, what's up?
Hey,
You are
what's up
back.
with
I'm
it?
so happy you came back.
Hell yeah, I had to, man. It was mandatory.
I really appreciate you. I really do. You share and another thing I want to say, thank you for making little clips of taking little clips out. That helps me out so much. I really appreciate that. So
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that.
Nah, I know it's just clips of when y'all shout me out, but still, I was like, let me just make sure I tag them, give
Still,
them their credit, but shit, I appreciate the shout outs, like y'all I be getting a lot of mentions in there and I'll be like, damn, that's what's up, like I be feeling hella tight and shit about it. But
right?
nah, I
Well,
appreciate that. And then like I was telling you earlier, man, like your platform, like the artists you've been interviewing, like you doing the right ones, you feel me?
thank
Like
you.
they actually all the artists that I've been seeing on your platform is people that got their own movement that's really pushing type shit, but
Nice. Well,
yeah.
like I was telling Afiliado, I was like, well, thank you for that because, just to let you guys know, Rossi's Clubhouse is a Sacramento-based podcast, and I am the host of Rossi's Clubhouse. My name is Rossi McCree. If you don't know, I'm an actress, but a podcaster. I'm stepping into that lane, and I really enjoy it. I'm a lover of all music, but my favorite music is hip hop music. I love all types of hip hop, from your club to really your underground hip hop. That's the best music that I find that's out, not your bubblegum stuff, but that
Yeah.
underground stuff that you're not going to see on your MTVs or on your BETs. You're not going to see that. And those are the artists that I just gravitate towards because I love what they're doing. And so it's always been my favorite type of music. So I wanted to put that out there. Afiliado was on here last year. He came through. I find these guys on Instagram. I'm heavy on Instagram and I follow a lot of them. So what happens is, being that I love hip hop, I found Afiliado through Mellow the Man, and then through Mellow, YG and Pharrell, and Yum's Awkward and Zay the Prophet. So if I love their music, I'll reach out to them and hope that they'll come on. And they all have helped me so much grow this channel. And just to let you guys know, I don't know who they are. So they're new to me. So I'm fanning out to people that like I'm vibing to their music and loving it. And then to have Afiliado, who's a legend, who I recently realized, like a lot of the guys that I bring on, once I mention you, or they'll say, I saw your interview with Afiliado, so I felt it was good to come on because, like Tech, shout out to Tech Trey. He said he
Take
went to high
trace.
school with you,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
We
a
go with
lot of them, I'm like, wow, like
yeah, me
I,
me and Take
I
Trace
didn't
go way
know.
back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he said
yeah.
he knew you when you was affiliate.
Yeah. Nah, yeah, he knew me from when I first started doing it. Like he was we was like the ones rapping, and he would come up to us like, man, he's like, y'all doing y'all thing. And he wasn't even rapping yet. He probably was
Right.
on the low, but we didn't know him as a rapper, he was in band. He was doing like his little drummer thing, but he was going
Yeah.
hard, yeah. But then once we graduated from high school and I started seeing him doing all these videos, and I was like, damn, I didn't know he was coming like that. Like his
Yes.
lyricism is real fierce, and like his
Yes.
aggression towards the mic like catches your attention. So when I
Right.
first heard him really coming rapping, I was like, well, why was you rapping like this in high school? It was. But yeah, man, shout out Tech Trace. We go way back. I just he shot a video like 2 years ago with my artist Javis, from Black Sky ENT, the home team.
Okay.
So anybody y'all check that out. It's called damn, I'm hella mad. I forgot the name of the song, but it's Javis and Tech Trace, y'all. Look it up, man. It's a clean ass video shot by Tori T on Full Effect Films.
Right.
I don't know if y'all know about Full Effect Films. I went to school with Tori T too, back in the day.
Okay.
Like I said, like, our last interview, I told you, like, and our school was like our own little industry. So it was
Okay.
like so much talent. Like, you know, Lil Six, I went to school with Lil Six. He was
Okay.
doing this thing when I was out there. Tech Trays, you know, I was Chewy, you know, I used to be in
Right.
ciphers with Chewy in school. We all went to the same school together, you know.
Wow.
My brother Javis and all of them. Like a lot of artists, we, you know, a lot of talent came from Florence High, you know. So,
Okay.
but you know, even after that, you know, like I've been networking with so much artists here and there, you know, like that's how, you know, that's how I know like YNG4L. You know, I met him
Right.
from through my brother Payday, and you know, YNG, he was the youngin, you know, he was
Yeah.
like
What's up, youngin?
15
What's
years
up?
old, you know, and he was you know, he was getting it back then. Like he's been on the
Yeah.
block, he's been the hustler as long as I known him. He was over here having more money than a lot of the older OG cats. We was like, damn, bro, what's this little? And you know,
Right.
we knew him as Young, you know, like that
Yeah.
was his name when we met him. Everybody in the hood calls him Young, you know, but
Okay.
you know, and that's why he changed it to like the YNG4L, like Young for
Okay.
Life type thing. Like I like how
Okay.
he rebranded himself too, you know, and it's crazy because his first project, I mixed that whole project for him too, you know, when he put it out. So
Yeah.
yeah, he had like a project, like a mixtape he dropped years ago. It was his first project he ever dropped. Like if people got it right now, it's probably worth some money because it's like it was popping back in the day. It was like
Right.
it went platinum streetwise. You feel me? Like
Okay.
so,
Okay.
and then you know that like Young when he first started, I was mixing a lot of his music too, and then you know seeing him doing this Thug Thizzle
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
and you know like pushing, you know he got his whole own movement. He got
Yes, he
Together
does.
Live. That's like his own little platform, you know, where they throw shows and all that. And I went to their show last year, and it was like the best show I ever been to. Like
Really?
they paid us for it, and you know like they welcomed us. Like it was so dope. But well, you know, and that's what Young did. You know, that was his little movement. And then apart from that, you know, just how he used to do it. You know, he's a realtor too. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
he be selling houses. Like
Yeah.
I remember when he was on the block and all that, and like we'll go to his house and then he'll have his books with him, and we'd be like, bro, what you doing? He'd be like, I gotta study. And we'd be like, what the hell? Like, but you know, we're in the hood, like we're in a trap house, and this fool
Right.
got his books, he's sitting there studying, you know, and
Right.
like he's been getting it, man. Shout out YG4L, man. That's family for
Absolutely.
sure.
Absolutely. What's up, Joanne? Thank you for joining us. Always, always here,
What's up,
JoJo. Thank
Joanne?
you, Joanne. Thank you.
Joe.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up with him because when I met him, well, first of all, you know, I didn't realize, well, what I loved about Youngin is the fact that his music is an R&B hip hop. Okay, so
Yeah.
and then listening to a lot of his songs, I mean, I'm sitting there, I told him I had so many, I'll put a star by every song that I like. And on
Mm-hmm.
his every damn near every song was like a star, a star, a
Yeah,
star,
yeah,
like
no.
my favorite song. And then to find out he's like a realtor and he's so smooth and just laid back and just yeah.
Yeah, nah, he does his thing, man. Like, and his style, yeah, he's like it's crazy how his style is now. Because back then he was just all straight trap music, you know. He
Okay,
was like
okay,
that's how he started, and he was a hustler, you know. He was always
okay.
getting it, you know. And then out of nowhere he started just doing, you know, he kind of rebranded himself, started doing a lot of pop songs, and he
Yeah,
went through his
okay.
little phase where you know you could tell it was like his little pop thing. And then
Right,
from
right.
there, you know, that's when I thought it was so dope how he came out with a project called Lost in the Streets, because it's like
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
that was his kind of way saying, hey, look, you know, I tried the pop shit, I tried being good, but you
Right.
know, the streets is calling me, let me, you know. And then how he mixed it with, you know, his you know, how his cadences and you
Yep,
know his
yep,
crazy ass
yep.
melodies for his hooks, how he did
Yes.
that. And then added that to where his, you know, how he used to rap back in the day. And then
Okay.
that project, like when I heard that one, I literally every song I was just like, all right,
That's
man,
the
he got himself
project
a
that I'm
classic,
talking
you know.
about.
Like
I
he's always had good music, but that project's when I was just
yes.
like, you know, it's hard. And then the one he just dropped with Mello, that should go
Oh
hard
my
too.
God, King Talk, guys. King
Yeah,
Talk.
yeah,
King
yeah.
Talk.
Shout out Mello, man.
Yes.
Mello's dope
Mello.
as hell.
Oh my God, like seriously. When I first met Mello, he came to the studio. I didn't know he was like that young because he's so old for his age. Like he's very wise. And
Yeah,
you know, he was dropping stuff that I didn't even know about, helping me with this, telling me how to do this, telling me about sponsorship. But I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
realize how young he was until he came and I met with him. And the fact that he's been doing like he's sixth grade. He said
yeah.
just doing little beats in sixth grade. So yeah, the point is that Sacramento has so many talented artists. I mean, R&B, hip hop, actors, producers. There's a lot going on in Sacramento, and so I have you know content for forever, you know, here in
Yes.
Sacramento. And also we want to give love to the Bay, you know, because the Bay is doing their thing as well. They're our cousins, but I'm here, I'm from Sacramento right now. I've been here for 10 years. So, I love Sac and I love putting these guys on and just learning so much about them. But for you, one of my favorite songs of yours was Loki. When you did
Oh
Loki, that
yeah,
was
yeah,
crazy.
Loki.
That was the first song I saw of yours. I when I was looking up, when I found you, I had Loki. Loki was out, and I'm listening to this, and I'm like, oh my, you was just going ham, just nuts on that song. So
Yeah,
that's how I found you. I
thank you.
love Loki, but Heavy Food. Tell me about that project.
Man, it was just pretty much it's like I feel like it's my best work up to date. Like every
Okay.
artist says that, it's a cliche thing to say, but like all my projects I've ever dropped, I've kind of always like recorded them and then like kind of was like, what song would fit this one, and like what goes here, what should go here, and like I would always rush the process. Like once I
Right.
recorded the songs, once I felt like I had enough songs, I just throw everything together and put
Right.
it out. And then this project I kind of had like took my time with it, like
Okay.
I kind of went on a hiatus too, from social media and all that, because I
Okay.
was like, what, I was trying to work on my album, but social media was such a distraction. So I said,
Right.
what, let me just focus on this, and like let me try to like put out my best work yet. And I had enough beats for it, like shout out T Temple. I already had a lot of beats from him, and I copped a couple, from Triple M, and I started working with other producers. And then once I had the beats and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write to this and that, kind of like I try to touch every element. Like with all my projects, I do that, but with this one, I was trying to like I don't know, I kind of was writing it at the perspective of like, all right, let me try to make this one a slap. And
Right.
usually I don't write
Right.
like that, but this
Right.
time I was like, no, every song's got to hit. Like this isn't a mixtape, this is an album.
Right.
Every beat is original, and people can't sit there and be like, oh, he got YouTube beats, all that. Like, nah, like I went in on this, and then after I recorded all the songs, I sat there. It took me like 2 weeks to like master the whole project, get everything
Okay.
even out, make sure it would, and then from there, and then the name The Heavy Food, I kind of just got that from I had a song called Belly Full on the Media de Chivo. It was my
Okay.
outro, and on there I'm like, it's the heavy food. Da, 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 da. And then one of my homies was like, oh, he started calling me the heavy food, So I was like, okay, I like that, I was like, the heavy food, that's cool. And then, I'm also in the process. I'm trying to stop saying the N word a lot in my
Okay.
lyrics.
Okay.
So I use food as
Okay.
a alternative for it, like
Okay.
instead of saying the N word, I'm like, what's up,
Right.
food? And that's how like that's regular too. That's how we grew up talking. Also,
Yep.
it's just
Absolutely.
but that's why I just call it the heavy food, because also like the Latinos are pushing the food movement. Also,
Okay.
due to that, the saying the N word in the Latin community is a big issue. It's a
Okay.
big problem, and therefore people push the food like the
Right.
thing, and so therefore I was like, what, let me just the heavy food, and
Right.
I'm big food, so
That's
that's
funny
what
that you bring
behind
that
it.
up, the N word in the Latin community, because I remember, I think it started with everyone was Fat Joe. Everyone started questioning a few years ago. Why does he use that? How can he use that? Me growing up, we've been at the top, we've been at the bottom. So I lived in a lot of different communities, and in the community, I lived in a Hispanic and a Black community, so it was normal, because we're all people of color. So it's kind of, you know what I mean, like we're the
Yeah,
same, you know what I mean? We're just the same. But I get that. I get where you're coming from with that, and I'm with you on that as well. Absolutely. And I think just period. But so I'm happy you
yeah.
explained Heavy Food, because I was going to ask you where did he get that from? But the songs, like seriously, you got like 14 songs on, or actually, yeah, 13 songs on the track on this album. Big Foo guys, Pangea, is it Play Dollars?
Just
What
plays.
Plays? Okay,
Yeah, it's
Plays.
plays, but I put a dollar sign because I'm talking
Okay,
about
I
art.
wasn't sure, so I wanted to make sure. And that's what YG and Pharrell and Kinda Odd that is featured in that. That's a dope song, by the way. I didn't know that you had a song with YG and Pharrell, and I saw them like, oh my gosh, like they're doing music together. I didn't know that.
Nah, we
Super
got
Villain,
me
love
and
Super Villain.
YNT4L. He's on every project I've dropped.
Is
So
he
he's
really?
like, yeah, he's on. If you go to every project, I got at
Yeah.
least one song with him.
Damn.
Like
Okay.
like you go, if you any project you go through. I think the only one
Yeah.
he's not on is my joint project with Payday. But other than that, I got YNG4L on almost like I said, we've been, even before dropping projects, me and him had so many songs together, like old
Right.
songs to where we can drop a whole project together type shit, you know, like
Right.
that's how
Right.
much we've worked. Like, you know,
Okay.
when he started rapping, he was rocking with my hood, you know, my group, and
Okay.
you know, we was putting him on, and like he was doing his own thing, but you know, we was kind of like, you know, hey, you know, I was helping him out a little bit too,
Okay.
mixing music here and there for him. I even shot a video for him one time, long ass time ago, like it's some old bootleg shit. I just had a little digital camera, and we was in his little shed and shooting shit, like. But yeah, man, that song plays, man. That's my main single from the album, produced by
Okay.
Triple M. Triple M on the beat is like, I feel like he's like one of the dopest producers out of Sacramento. Like
Okay.
a lot of people don't know, when you know, there's an artist called Mozzie, and he's like in
Yes, of
Sacramento. He's
course.
one of the biggest. Yeah, he's one of the biggest artists around Sac, and his song that blew up is called Blah Da Da, which was produced by Triple M. And then that
Really?
whole project, the whole project Blah Da Da was produced by Triple M. So
Okay.
I love working with him just because he's put in his work, and
Right.
you know, he's very slept on, you know, because even though like he's on one of the biggest songs, he produced one of the biggest songs to come out of Sacramento, you
Right.
know, I feel like he's still slept on. I feel like he can be out there more type
Right.
shit, you know. So anytime he has sales going on and all that, I'll try to, you know, support here and there. And so yeah, the song's produced by Triple M on the beat. I got
Nice.
YNG4L on that. I got Kinda Odd. I don't know if you heard about Kinda
I
Odd,
haven't. I
but
have not.
man, Kinda Odd is raw. Like
Okay.
I feel like he's definitely up next. Like, you
Okay.
know, why
Okay.
there's a lot of artists in Sacramento that is really, you know, like headed that way. But
Right.
he's like, I feel like he's up, like he's almost
Okay.
there type shit.
I'm gonna
Like
reach out
he's
to him.
very diverse. Yeah,
You're
check him out. He's very diverse. My
is
bad, I'm
he?
over here cutting you off and shit, talking
No,
my
no, no,
ass
it's
off.
fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, what I was gonna say was looking at your videos and a lot of your guys' videos, the features that you have on, the features are dope. The guys are dope. Like it's they're just as good as the main artist. You know that so that's what I mean. I have content forever, and I can't wait to meet a lot of these guys. So I tend to write down a lot of the features that I really liked and the people that were on that album that was featured on your album. I'll write their name down, look for them because I want to bring
Uh-huh.
them up too. Because I do feel like a lot of artists are slept on. I mean, if you don't have a big deal contract, which is kind of it's I don't feel like you need that anymore. I mean, you know, Tech and I were speaking, and you know, he was telling me this story about, first of all, the music that he's trying to do. He's trying to put a lot of, because he has boys, you know, teach him things and you know, have some positivity. But he said the crazy thing about it is that the streets want hardcore rap. The corporations want that, you know. And if you try to do something that's opposite of that and try to be like, you know, give a good message, you know, like Apple Music, they you won't get as much plays because that's not what they're pushing. They're pushing that.
True.
And so he was saying he'll mix up his music and put some messaging, good messaging in there, but it's street and that's what people want. And I totally get that because I mean, I'm that person that you're selling to. I prefer, you know, hardcore street. Just I want it to be real. I
Hey,
I
same
want to
here.
hear your stories. You know what I mean? Like the storytelling that a lot of you guys do, it's great. And I guess for some it's safe to listen to. It's just better. I feel like it's not, when you're with a big company, you have to do certain things. And I feel like you guys, a lot of you guys are like indie artists, so you kind of call your own shots. You don't have to do that. But do you feel like that? Do you have to put out a certain type of music to
Um,
sell, you know?
no, I mean, to be real, like, okay, so yeah, that's what's hot. Like the street music is hot, but how it goes with that, like, if you look at it like, okay, so if an artist is constantly, like, the way I've seen all the street rappers, they're
Yeah.
hot for the moment, but
Okay.
their people are so much into that once somebody's hot for a while, they're just looking for the next hot artist that's going.
Okay.
And a lot of
Okay.
rappers that are just basically basing their music on a whole bunch of thug shit and
Right.
sliding on ops and all that,
Right.
they don't really have a long-term career
Right.
to where, or they'll be at a certain position where they're not really selling out arenas. Now, if you look at Kendrick Lamar, J.
Right.
Cole, like these fools, they ain't rapping about killing motherfuckers in every
Right.
song, but they're outselling arenas. But
Yeah.
because, they're sticking to their art, they're not trying to be something they're not.
Right.
And that's how you create a cult following. Like, people Like, yeah, you can be the hottest artist right now. Like, yeah, I'm killing this, killing that.
Right.
And people are, oh, he's hot right now. But that's going to eventually get old.
Right.
That's all you're talking about all the time. People
Right.
are going to get tired of hearing that from you. And they're just going to look for the next hot artist. And then a lot of those artists that stick to that, bang, bang, shoot 'em up gang shit, they don't really get out that bubble, and they don't go out to mainstream type shit.
Right.
But like I said, if you look at the biggest artists that are even Tech-9, he's independent.
Yeah.
He's not rapping about killing people on every song, and
right.
He's the most selling independent artist because of his cult following. Right. Because of people, there's people actually out there that appreciate like stories and about people talking about like that shit that people can relate to. Now I'm also one of those people, when my songs, I'm very lyrical. I like writing songs,
you are.
But I'll wake up in the morning listening to some Chief Keef, like some turn up shit, some ignorant music, because that's what wakes you
there
up,
you go.
But it's like, there's certain vibes for that. Sometimes when I'm alone and I'm, at nighttime and it's a Sunday, I might be like, let me roll up a blunt, slap some oldies, that's always something, it just depends on, that's me, my preference wise. But, for an artist, like it's true, you'll be hot dropping all this gangster shit, and all that, and, all this hardcore, thug life music. But in the long run, it's not like, you're not going to be 40 years old rapping still about the same shit. And if you are, people ain't going to take you serious.
I get that.
People ain't going to take you serious type shit, So that's my point of view on that. Like, I feel like just be yourself. Like, like even me, I come with aggressive lyrics, but you ain't going to hear me on my song talking like, I've seen all this hood shit. I grew up on the block. I've been living in the hood my whole life, but you're not going to see me over here talking about, kill this fool and kill this and that. Like, I know what I can do, but it's just I don't look at music for that. I look at music to kind of like vent type shit, kind of just get my story out there. Because me, I'm like, I'm a Gemini, I'm good with words, but I'm very bad at like telling people how I feel. So like, even with my family and all that, I show them a lot of love in my music, because it's awkward for me to sit here in front of you and say, hey, I love you, family member. So it's a way for me to, sit there and get my point across and let people really understand who I am. Now maybe right now I'm not popping. I don't know mainstream shit going viral because I'm on some gangsta ass shit. But there's people that are hearing it, and to this day I still have followers and like people that listen to my music from years ago, like MySpace days, that still will tell me like, I remember you were doing this in MySpace, and it's just like, okay, they're still listening. It's just like I don't know, like it's a whole contradicting situation in the industry, but that's just my opinion on it. You feel me?
I like how I love how you said ignorant music. You get on that. I like that. That's a good term. Yes, I love that ignorant music sometimes, and sometimes I want to get up and listen to that ignorant music. I love that. That's a great way to explain it. And also, I do feel like, with hip hop, we've always had beef and always had things. You had your Tupac, your Biggie situation, but I feel like today, as much as we fans, we listen to it, we buy it, but for real, it has gone far. It really has gone far with naming people on your album that you have done something to or whatever. How do you feel about the fact that you have court cases going on right now with their lyrics being used to persecute them? Like, how do you feel about that?
I feel like as an artist, you're gonna be like, nah, what the fuck? Like, it's just music. I'm venting, but it's like, I think it's kind of, it makes no sense, because to be real, 85% of rappers that are rapping about killer shit ain't doing it.
Right, exactly.
So it's kind of like, it makes no sense for people to be like, well, I'm gonna use your lyrics in court, because it's just like, even, every rapper exaggerates. Even if you ain't a rapper that you ain't lying in your songs, you're still exaggerating. It's hip hop, it's a competitive, game. So, everybody's always gonna oh shit, my bad. I was getting a call in right here. What was I saying? I lost my train of thought.
No, it's fine. You were saying that the fact that you don't think basically it's right for their lyrics to be used against them. They shouldn't have to. Their lyrics shouldn't be used against them. Everybody exaggerates
in their music, so it's just like, you're on a song, I killed this person, and they're gonna be like, oh, he's the one that did it, but then they got 12-year-olds over here rapping about the same shit, and it's like it just makes no sense to me, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, if you're a rapper that's out there really thugging, and then
Right.
you go on your songs rapping about it. You
Yes.
kind of just telling on yourself. You feel
I
me? Like,
know, right? Self-snitching today. They're
yeah, like
self-snitching.
it's just like that's kind of your fault. Like I don't agree with the system. Like you feel me?
Right.
Like, you know, no offense to anybody that's, you know, supports blue and all that, like the police and all that. But
Yeah.
I'm, you know, I've had bad experiences with the law, so you know, I'm one of them people that like to say fuck the police type
Right.
shit,
Right.
you know. But
Right.
it's like, but at the same time, if you're telling on yourself, you can't be mad,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But like, but you know, it's just that's a weird situation, like you know, because some rappers, you know, they are telling on themselves and they can't use certain evidence on their music
Absolutely.
against them, but at the same time, like rap is 95%, like 90%, you know, fairy tale, you know. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Absolutely.
not really going on, you know. So
Right.
you know,
Just a bunch
that's
of
my opinion.
storytelling. That's what I love about hip hop is storytelling. You know, E40 tells a story. You know, Tupac would tell. Tupac would tell a story, and people don't realize, or maybe you do by now, but Tupac's a great, example. He wasn't doing a lot of that stuff that he talked about. He was actually, telling other people's stories. So you have to be
Yeah,
careful with that. And I think, that creates a sticky situation because you don't want someone to not be able to fully create, and say what they
true,
want to say. So that's the
true.
problem I have. We have to be careful with that, because where does that stop? We have movies, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
movies that, I
true.
mean, they're doing the same thing. You're just visually being able to see it. The artist is
Yeah,
saying that and having video. So I wanted to get your perspective on that. But your album, though, I was going through because I was letting you know, Supervillain Love, um, Thug Love was bipolar, sick of these hoes, forgot hyphy, stampede, clockia, clock in,
yeah,
better with me, champion. All those songs, you wrote them. What's
yeah,
the
man.
favorite? What's your favorite song on there?
Oh man, they're all like they all got their own little specialness to them. Like Thug Love, what's up? I got my little sister on there. You know, she ain't rapped in years, and she, like, you know, the thing with my little sister is back then she kind of like, if you look up Lady Teardrop, she
Yep.
was, you know, she has numbers back then. She was popping back then, like
Yep.
MySpace days. You know, she had a big fan base. A lot of you know, a lot of my numbers was up because of her back in the day.
Okay.
So everybody would be like, why don't you get your sister to rap? And I'd be like, man, you know, it's hard to get her in the booth. So I was able to finally get her on this project. So I felt
Dope.
like, you know, I'm very proud of myself doing that for that song at that, you know. And then
Right.
and she's very picky about her music. So I was like, man, I hope she likes how I mixed it. And she was just like, okay. And she loved it, you know. So that one, and another thing is I mix all my music. So it's like, you
Okay.
know, everything that's on my project also is something, you know, that I engineered. I mixed, mastered
Wow.
the whole project type shit. Yeah. So that's another thing is I've been with my sister, you know, Lady Teardrop. She was or also she goes now by Erica Tinez. But
Okay.
when I first started mixing, it was with her. You know, I was like,
Okay.
I had a producer when I first started rapping, and me and him fell off. So then I was like, damn, who's gonna produce for me? I started paying people to studio time. I didn't like how they were mixing, so I was just
Right.
like, I kind of was stuck. So I was like, you know what, I got to do it myself. So I just started practicing on my sister. I was like, hey, you know, let me record these songs and let me mix them for you. And she was like, whatever. You know, we were doing it as a hobby for her. You know, and I started mixing there, and people was like, hey, you know, you're pretty good. I started off with them, you know, I don't know if you remember them old school skinny ass $20 microphones back in the day, desktop microphones. They're like
No.
hella, they look like chopsticks.
The really skinny ones.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Like the
yeah,
game
so we were
show.
recording on that. We were recording on that, and then we had like a little circle thing, and we used the sock as the proper stopper. Like we was
Really?
real ghetto, and then but it's crazy. All those songs that I mixed that way was the songs that touched the most numbers in my whole career of music
Okay.
I produced for. You know, so it's just like even back then, you know, shit was going on, and then from there over time, I just started mixing for everybody in my group, and I just got so better at it, you know. And then it got to the point where everybody's trying to reach out to me to mix, but I'm like, you know what, I'm just focusing on my career for now, so let
Right.
me just mix on my shit. But yeah, other than that, apart from me mixing everything, yeah. So Thug Love, What's Up? I really like that song.
Right.
I like Pangea. A lot of people tell me Pangea is
Yes.
one of their favorite songs from the
Yes,
project. So
absolutely.
I'm glad I
Absolutely.
was able to get my brother Javis on there. So my brother Javis hasn't been doing music in a while. You know, he kind of was
Okay.
going through some things. So I finally was able to get him in the studio. So I'm glad I got him on that song because he even told me, he was like, "Bro, that's my favorite song off your album." So I was
Right.
like, you know what, it's only right. But you know, I even got some songs where I made some of the beats years ago, like Forgot
Okay.
Hyphy. I made
Yeah.
that beat like back in 2010.
Damn.
And you know, it's like I wanted to do a hyphy song, kind of like a tribute. So I
Yeah.
remember I had that old song, and then I even the sample on there was old. And I don't know if you heard the song Forgot Hyphy, but the sample on the
Yes.
hook, that's actually YNG4L that sampled on that hook. And
Really?
yeah, so that was back in 2010. He recorded that. It was on his verse to one of his songs, and I
Okay.
like that line. The boys must have forgot what hype he
Right.
was.
Right.
Some. So I like that bar, so I cut that up and added it to the beat back in
Nice.
2010. So
Nice.
then now when I wanted to do a tribute to a hyphy tribute song, I was like, man, I got a perfect beat that I made during the hyphy movement, and it
Right.
still had the sound to it, you know. So and I put it out there, and even YG 4L was like, hey, bro, it's like, that sounds familiar. I was like, that's you, fool. Like, it was just hella funny. But, you know, I was like, I do, when I produce songs and like when I mix songs, I like adding a whole bunch of stuff here and there from way back in the day.
Okay.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me connect this little
Nope.
charger.
Totally. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I got
Do
this
your thing.
little, I seen the little 10% line. So I have to make sure, hold on,
Do
give me
your
a sec.
thing.
Oh, I have to make sure this motherfucker don't disconnect. All right. Hold on. Give me a sec. My bad, y'all. Whoever on the live.
Take your time. This is live. It happens. It absolutely happens.
We're gonna crop this out. No. All
Yeah.
right, there you go. I was trying to get the cord to reach over here. I don't want it to cut
You're
off while
good.
we on the live. All right, so there you go. All right, so what was we talking about?
We're talking about your album. So the album, guys, is called Heavy Food. I listened to it on Spotify. You can go and preview it on Spotify. Buy a song. You guys will absolutely like the album's really good. When I was doing a promos for it, I went and of course, you know, your music is everywhere. So I go to my TikToks. I love to create things on TikTok to do the promos, and you know, the Pangea came up. And it's really hard with you because Pangea came up, and so I was like, oh my God, I love that. I love that song. Then something else came on. I love that song. Then I go and listen to it this morning. Like honestly, you did a really good job. It's a really dope album. Every song is really good. It's just it's a well put together project. I mean, it's
Thank
dope,
you.
and you're so lyrically talented. I mean, you'll go like Loki, for instance. I love when you have that moment where you'll just go hard and you're just rapping and just going and going and you're saying something, you know, and then the way that you play with words and flip something. I think I listened to a supervillain like 3 or 4 times because you would say something. I'm sitting on a couch and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk to you about it. So and how many albums do you have though? I remember I counted up so many on our last interview, but what would this album make? Number
I
what?
think I think this one's number 9.
Okay.
Number 9 or 8. One of
Okay.
them.
And
Nine
you
or
and
I think
a lot of singles though. I mean, so many singles. Your list on your Spotify. I mean, it just goes on and on and on, and just so many singles. Even singles that you recently put out or you put out a year or two ago. I mean, I understand and see why everyone I've talked to, they know about you, you know, and they you know, you're a legend, you know, and I see that and get
thank
that because you really are. Um, how do you see your place in Sacramento rap? Where's
you.
your place at?
Under the bed, like slept on type shit. You feel me?
Yes,
Like
I absolutely I
like
agree with
yeah.
that.
I got a lot of connects. I work with a lot of people, but I mean at the same time, it's like it's kind of my fault because I hate interacting with people type shit. You know, like
Why?
I don't know why. Like I'm a people person.
Yeah.
It's just like I've done that already. I used to do a lot of shows and I used to be interacting with so much people, but then like just coming across so much like other rappers is just kind of like I don't know. I think it's just because I'm from like I'm from the hood that is just like, I'm
Okay.
so street minded that like, if I see someone, like if I hear you rapping a certain way, then I meet you and I'm like, damn, you're not who you're rapping like, like it's just shit like that kind of throws me off from meeting more artists here and there. So it's
Okay.
kind of like, and then at the same time, I don't, me not reaching out, other people gonna be like, well, he ain't reaching out. So it's kind of like, that's a slept on part. But Sacramento wise, one thing is though, don't get me wrong, I feel like I do get my respect. Like
Right. Oh yeah.
I can go to it can be a regular hip hop show in Sacramento, like local talent. I can walk in there and know several artists, and they'll
Right.
come show me love. Like, hey, what's up? Like it's always love type shit, and it's me. It's never no fake love. Like, you feel me?
Right.
I'll show love back. I'll be in good spirits, all that. But I just hate being around people. Like I hate like back then I used to love it, but as you get older, you just kind of just like, damn, you don't want to
Right.
be at these shows, just standing around, and then you start getting anxiety. Like, what if I run into somebody I
I was
don't
going to ask
like?
you about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like apart from that, you feel me? I feel like I'm in a cool place, but I'm ready to get the fuck up out of Sac. That's for sure. Like I'm
Like
ready
for real, like for real.
I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's always the goal.
Right.
When you're rapping, you kind of always want to do it to where you can get the fuck out your city. But I feel like I've done enough here. I feel like enough
Okay.
people know me to where I'm like, you know what? Let me just start venturing out. Somebody kind of like when I be watching like a lot of videos that give you tips on like career moves and all that.
Right.
And I was seeing something about like start networking with people from out of town. Like even if you don't know any of their people, like you never know.
Right.
Like you just see even on your sponsors, you see someone like just pop up and be like, oh, like me, I interact with so much music on my page that on my timeline, random artists always just popping up, and I'll check
Okay.
them out. I'll be like, hey, they dope, So now I'm gonna start thinking about reaching out to artists from out of Sacramento type
Right.
shit, like, because that's my thing in Sacramento. I try to always, work with artists from out here that I feel
Right.
like they, good addition to my project. But then I'm like,
Right.
you know what? I gotta start thinking outside the box now, type shit, because
Right.
I feel like I've worked with everybody in Sacramento I've wanted to work with, like
Okay.
the biggest, I mean, the one of the biggest artists in Sacramento is Mozzie. I got 2 songs
Right.
with him, so a lot of people out here in Sacramento were trying to get verses from him and never got to it. I was able to be in the studio with him,
Wow.
and work with him and all type of shit. So it was like pretty much like working wise, I've worked with like even local legends like C-Dub. A lot of people don't know
Right.
about C-Dub. He's been rapping way before I have, and he's like one of the most respected producers out here. And I've done a lot of shows with him. I've rapped on his beats before. Like, I feel like I've already done as much as I need to do in Sac.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so I feel like I'm just ready to start taking it more out there, because I'm only getting older, and I
Right.
told myself I'm giving myself till I'm like 40
Okay.
to keep pushing this rap shit. Like, I'm not trying to be a 40-year-old rapper still trying to make it. So
Oh,
ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's just that's why I'm going so hard right now. I'm trying to come up with different methods. Like, even when I dropped my
yeah.
album, I did a tattoo giveaway. I'm trying different things to kind of really boost my numbers up type shit and all
Right.
that. So, you know.
JoJo said, first of all, she said she's going to check it out. But then when you mentioned Mozzie, she said, "Ooh, shit, I knew I recognized you, Afiliyado." She she uh she loves Mozzie. She loves Sacramento hip hop, and so she was telling me, what a couple of years ago, Joanne. She was telling me, "Oh my gosh, you got to check out Mozzie. Do you know Mozzie?" I'm like, "I've heard of him." So she would send me songs, and her and my brother was like, "Fuck with Mozzie, heavy. Like they loved his music." But she
Yeah.
remembers you from Mozzie.
That's what's up. That's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out JoJo. Yeah, I
Thank
see.
JoJo.
The,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, she.
I knew him from way back in the day. Like, I met him years ago. Like, when I first met the Jacka, there's a rapper named Jacka from out here. When I first met him, I opened up and then Mozzie was performing at that show, and
Wow.
that's how I kind of like heard from him, because I was like, he was wearing the same hat as me, and I remember being like, what the fuck, this motherfucker got on the same hat. And then I seen him a couple days later, and I was like, hey fool, I was like, you was at that Jacka show, and he was like, yeah, and I was telling him about the hat, and then we always talked about working, but we never we
Right.
never got around to it. And then finally, when he got locked up and he came out, he started buzzing. So I reached out. I was like, hey, fool, like, you remember I used to work at a check cashing store right there on Broadway by
Okay.
his hood. So I would see him all the time. So I was like, hey, fool, you remember me from Broadway? And he was just like, oh, yeah. So he came, he gave me the verse for hella cheap. Like, you know,
Wow.
like, yeah, like it was cheap as fuck. Like I was like, damn, good looking, you know, because he was charging a lot at the time already.
Right.
And then, you know, we did that one song. It was on the June on the Beat. And then my boy had him in our other studio in the north. He was like, hey, I got Mozzie in the studio. You want to get on the song? I was like, I just did a song with him. I'll do another one. It's good. So, you know, we kind of been pushing from there. But yeah, man. So like I said, you know, I pretty much have worked with, you know, like the biggest artists in Sac, you know, that came out of Sac. So it's just like I'm ready to just get the fuck up out of here, you know, and on to the next, you know, try to take it worldwide.
Right. Speaking of, just a second, let me see what JoJo. Hey, JoJo. Hey. Joanne's crazy. Thank you, JoJo. Always here. So I was going to ask you about that, like the performance anxiety. I hear a lot of artists talking about that. No matter how many times they've been on stage, they have that performance anxiety. Is it because it's something that you enjoy what you're doing to where it's like it makes you realize, like for me, acting, like I have this thing where auditions, like it's so stressful because I appreciate what I'm doing. I love what I'm doing, and it means so much to where when I go in there, it's just that I go through that anxiety. Is it that, like, no matter how many times you've done it, it's just you go through that? It's like the first time being on stage. Do you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, like I look at it like if you're not nervous before you get on stage, then you ain't really doing it right. Like you feel me? Like you shouldn't even be up there. Like I was nervous before the interview. I was like, damn, why we gotta be sitting here interviewing? Like, you know, it's because it's based on your career. So you always like all eyes are on you. So you kind of just like, all right, people are watching. Let me make sure I say the right thing. I act the right way type shit. So, you know, I still get, you know, but I get anxiety for different types of reasons. Now it's just because, you know, I've done a lot of shows, but I still like, you always still think like, damn, what if the crowd ain't gonna feel me? Or sometimes if it's a smaller crowd, you're just like, all right, you know, let me see how I'm gonna rock this crowd. And then in Sacramento, sometimes you go out there and perform, and you see a whole bunch of thug ass motherfuckers right there in the front throwing up their hood. So now you just gotta be like, all right, you know, I gotta be on my toes, you know. And then especially when you're a Mexican, you know, people already assume that you gangbang in a certain color. So it's just all that comes with it. You know, me being from the street is just always like a mentality where you're just like, hey man, you know what? I got to be on my toes. Cause at the same time with rap, you know, it's like, it's a very competitive state. So it's like, people are always going to try to test you. So there can be other people in the crowd and be like, who's this fool rapping like he hella hard on stage? And when you get off stage, you know, people gonna come up to you. Like, it's happened to me before. People that try to test me, you know, and be like, hey, you know, where you from? Da-da-da-da. As soon as I get off stage and, you know, shit like that irritates me, and I'll be ready to just start swinging on motherfuckers. But then I'll be like, you just got to think about the, you know, the host that got you on the show. You don't want to break ties and all that and burn bridges type shit. But yeah, it can be many reasons, you know, but at the end of the day, once you get out there, and the beat comes on and you start rapping, it all goes away. Like it always happens. Like you see with me and you, like once we got on the live and we started talking, you know, before we went on, I was like, all right, cool. My nerves is calm. You know, I got to burn real quick, you know, a little pre-game. So, you know, I was like, I got chill, you know, and I was rushing at that. So I was already gonna be like, damn, am I gonna make it? Look, I was supposed to get my hair did, you feel me? And my shit's still all fucked up. I didn't even have time to get it did, you know, but it's like, I was like, you know what? It's all good. You know,
you look great though. You look great. When you came to the studio, you look great. And I love the picture I found, because I went on your page and I'm like, my producer's like, make sure you send me a picture, get me a good picture. So I'll send a few pictures. And then I found the one with the braids. I'm like, okay, he's gonna love this. So I sent it.
Yeah, no, I seen it. I was like,
oh, I love that. He sent me a few different, like, I'm like, do a really good one, because I try to make sure that everyone's thumbnail is different. I don't want you all to have the same thumbnail. I want it to be special,
and that's dope.
You know? And so when I found that one and I put some my extra touches on it after they give it to me, then I'll do some extra things to it. But perfect picture. So yeah, you always look great, and you're always very polite. You're just great. That's why when you was like, let's get back together again. Absolutely. Also, I go through that too. Every Monday before a show, I was so nervous to meet YG and Pharrell. I was so nervous to meet them. I mean, just With you, I was scared to meet you. I was so nervous because I want to make sure I do you guys justice. You know what I mean? I want to
Nah,
make sure that
yeah.
everything's good, that people get it, that you're doing promos, that I'm making sure I cover everything. But it's also because, like my husband says, because it means something to you. If you don't get
Mm,
nervous before a show, then you don't need to be doing this no more. You should never
yep.
feel comfortable to where you got it. And so I'm always trying to switch up things. And being that I want to switch up things, I want to ask you this. So we have, of course, the Kendrick Lamar and the Drake. And obviously it's a music podcast. Mainly I have to ask you about, have you been keeping up with what's going on? What do you think? I just listened to the rest of Kendrick Lamar's gosh, man.
Man.
Wow.
So yeah, that was, I ain't gonna lie, when it first started happening, I
Yeah.
wasn't like paying attention because
Same here.
I'm never the type of person to just be like, all right, this is popping, let me
Yep.
just jump to it. Like I got so much
Yep.
going on, I didn't really have time to jump into it. But once I started seeing people posting the clips of that song from Kendrick, the They Not Like Us, I said,
Yes.
hold on, I was like, that kind of slap. So then I got intrigued by it, so I started listening to, I'm gonna go with Kendrick all day just because it's West
Yeah.
Side, you
Right.
feel me? But I'm also a big hip hop fanatic. I fuck with Drake. I'm a big
Yes.
Drake fan. So
Yes.
I wanted to like listen both sides. So I
Yeah.
kind of like added all the songs in a certain. It's like 8 songs. It was like a whole little
Yes.
album I was listening to. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Right.
I sat down one day and I listened to all the songs back to back, and I was just like, bro, like it was beefy both sides. But
Yes.
Kendrick just killed it with
Oh my.
that They Not Like Us,
Oh
bro.
my
Oh my
gosh. Oh,
god.
and the
But
grams, the
like,
fact that he took a Teddy Pendergrass beat, and that's one of my favorite songs by Teddy P, the greatest inspiration. One of my
yeah.
favorite songs. Heard that beat come on, starts off slow, really good. Then I heard they not like us, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting back on the couch and I'm like, oh my, yes. I'm like, Drake, I love you. I love you, Drake. I respect what you're doing, but on this one here, we got to
Yeah.
just bow out, leave it alone. Also with Quavo and Chris Brown, I same thing. Heard a little bit about it, but not really paying attention to it. So finally, someone's like, "Listen to both. Tell me what you think." So I listened to Chris Brown's first. Yeah, just Chris Brown, right? Dope, dope,
Yeah.
dope. But then I listened to Quavo's. The thing about Quavo is that Quavo made a great song. It's just a good song, but it's not. I didn't. There's
Uh-huh.
no beef to that. Like there's no. To me, it was just like, damn, Quavo made a really good song, but Chris Brown got that all day. But I love this healthy beef that we have going on here. I think it's good for hip hop. I think it's a lot of fun. Kendrick Lamar absolutely killed it, but I am a Drake fan, and Drake's was good as well. But
Drake's was hard, yeah, but
he kills it. But Kendrick Lamar,
he
he
he,
did his
he did
thing.
it with the club banger. That's what's genius about it, because it's like he's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get a club banger ass beat, and I'm gonna just talk shit on there, and I'm gonna say some catchy shit on there,
Oh my
and
gosh.
that's once I heard the song, I said, bro, it's over. Like, ain't no way,
Yes.
because like they playing it in the clubs. Like I've been. We had gone to a bar over the weekend, and they was playing the song out and about. I would just hear everybody playing it, and I
Really?
was just like, damn, that sucks, because now Drake will probably go to the club and hear the song playing,
Yeah, I
and it's
know.
just like you getting this, and then even at the end when everything, how Kendrick was ending this,
Yes,
at the end he
yes,
just kept repeating himself, and it was
yes.
so catchy to where I was just like, man, he's genius. But it's like he's a Gemini, so it's going,
Is it okay?
it's going. I gotta go
Okay.
with Team Gemini on that one. You feel me? That's how we do.
Absolutely. I love that. I was just so when I heard about it, I was like so happy that, oh my gosh, a good beef, a good healthy rap beef. I love when they go back and forth and who's the best and who killed it. So of course I
Yeah,
have to ask you about that and get your opinion on that.
no, for
Now,
sure. Mm-hmm.
your tattoo. You're
Uh-huh.
still tattooing. Tell me about
Yeah.
that because I know that's another love that you have, and let's talk about that.
So yeah, I'm still tattooing. I got the blasphemy page now. I was
Yes.
pushing that, so that's my whole little tattoo side and shit. It's the name blasphemy, but I add a T in there, so it's like blasphemy. So
Right.
it's kind of like play on words, tattoo wise. But yeah, I'm still tattooing. I ain't gonna lie, this past like 2 or 3 weeks I haven't been tatting because I've been so busy with this podcast stuff, with just so
Right.
much been going on, and
Right.
then pushing my album, and it's just and working at that I haven't been able to to tattoo, as often. But this next weekend coming up, I'm gonna be so busy. I already like 4 days back to back.
Nice.
And I did the tattoo giveaway also. So I also, the person that won, it's a $250 tattoo giveaway. So
Nice.
I'm doing that one in the weekend also. She won, so shout out to Tati BCE.
Nice.
She won the tattoo for that one. So yeah, I did the tattoo giveaway to kind of promote the album, and numbers always go up. This is my second one I've done, and numbers went up. So
Nice.
it's like it's always beneficial. That's why I kind of do it. And I also partnered up with my brother. His name's Scorpion Terry. He has his own podcast on the side, which is called Sac God, and I be on there too. I be hosting with him and shit. And he has his own business, so he partnered up with my tattoo page, and the winner also won like a little bundle package, like a money candle, rosary, like sage, all that, like the little party pack from Scorpion Terry. So shout out Scorpion Terry, shout out Saca las Velitas. That's another podcast you'll see me on.
I just subscribed today, by the way. I found his
hey,
on your links.
Appreciate you for that.
And I went to it, and I'm like, okay, and I watched some of it, and so I did subscribe today, so I did see that, and obviously, I'm following you on everything that you're doing. So,
thank you. Yeah, no, I'm
absolutely.
like that. My brother's podcast is I love it so much because it's like for people that personally want to get to know me, that's how you get to know my whole family. Like my brother got my mama on there. He got like 2 episodes with my mom. And she's from Mexico, so she's on there telling stories about how her her life was growing up. I'm hearing stories I ain't never heard my mom talk about. I'm over here like, damn, this is dope. And then he had my nieces on there. My nieces got an episode with him on there. My sister's on there. Like, it's a pretty dope podcast. He's doing this thing, and then he's very spiritual at that. So he does a lot of like spiritual talk, like stuff about like even paranormal stuff. He talks about a lot of that on there. So for people that check that out, it's called Saca las Velitas. It's pretty dope, man. Shout out Scorpion Terry.
Yeah, what I liked about it was the paranormal stuff. I think I watched an episode today, and he was talking about some of the paranormal stuff. So that's like my favorite topic. Absolutely. Have you had any experiences?
Recently, just basically, it's not too much paranormal, but it's kind of like more like sleep paralysis. I used to get it very often. Right. That's pretty much like apart from other little things, like over here in my spot, sometimes like stuff will fall off the counter. It ain't happened recently, right? But there's been several times where I'm just seeing you chilling, and then you just hear like something get thrown, and then I'll leave a knife on the counter, and it'll just fall off. And then like one time the light went off, it was like hella random. But other than that, it's just sleep paralysis is pretty much what I deal with. That's close to paranormal activity type shit. Right. Like do you get sleep paralysis?
Yeah, I had. It's so weird because years ago, it was right after we had our second son, the baby, and we were living in Seaside, Oregon, and my mom had a 2-level, so I was in the bottom level of the house, and the baby's crib was like to my right, and I remember my 4-year-old at the time was in bed with me, was laying with me, and I remember waking up. And when I woke up, there was this image, this person standing next to me, but it was like a silhouette. I couldn't see the face, but it was just like a dark silhouette. And I remember looking at that person and freaking out, but I couldn't move. And I remember like my mouth was opening to yell, but nothing was coming out. And I remember just kind of so scared. And then I was released. Like I was just released. Like all of a sudden when I was released, horrible mom, I jumped up, got out of my bed, ran into my mom's room, and jumped into bed with her. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, oh my gosh. So I think I saw grandma. I don't know, but there's someone in my room. So we get up, go back to the room. Baby sleep. Dorian still sleep. The oldest one that was 4.
You gonna leave your kid?
Around. I left. I honestly, I left my babies in the room. I left the baby in the crib. I left the 4-year-old. They just sleep. The first thing was to get out of the room. Get out. Just once I was released, I just got up and ran to my mom's room. We come back to my room. And she's like, "There's nothing here." I'm like, "Mom, I'm telling you, I couldn't move. I could not move." And that's the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah, nice. I used to have it so often. Like the first time I heard it, my mom, she would get it all the time. And my mom, for Mexicans, they say "se me subió un muerto." That means like a dead person climbed on me. That's how they call it. So in Mexico, they see it as if like, oh, it's a dead spirit that climbed on them while they're sleeping and type shit. You know, like they're
Right.
very more superstitious over there. So growing up, I would always hear my mom, oh, you know, the dead person got on me at night. The dead person got at me. And I'd be terrified of it.
Right.
And then, you know, one day I experienced it, you know, in the same way you said it. You know, it's you know, I was laying there and then I felt like I couldn't move and breathe. I see you know, a shadow standing next to me and I can't see their face. I can just see like from under their nose and down.
Wow.
And like I'm trying to look at their face and I can't move and I'm trying to scream, but I just hear myself going like nothing's coming out.
Nothing.
And then I finally, once I snapped out of it, then you know, that's when I realized like, oh shit, I was dreaming, you know, and then it started happening constantly, and then I started doing research on it because you know my mom started praying for me. She's like, "Oh, muerto." She was tripping,
right.
And then I'm like, "Mom, like I'm a Gemini, so I'm kind of like, if everybody's thinking of something one way, I try to think a way around it. Like maybe this is what happened."
Right.
So then I really started paying attention to it, and that's when I learned what sleep paralysis was. I was like, and I was trying to tell my mom, it's called sleep paralysis. And, you know, my mom's Mexican, so she's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. But you know, it's just like then when I looked into it, it's just basically, you know, it's an out of body experience. It's when your consciousness wakes up before your body, and you know, that's how you experience. Like I've had it to where I've seen myself laying there, and I'm like, what the fuck, like, you know, type shit.
Right.
So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. I had it where, you know how you feel like, I didn't even know, like I was lifted, like in the bed, but I was lifted and I woke up and to me, I was dreaming, but I remember waking up in the air, lifted, looked to the side, nothing, and then dropped to the bed. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of experiences. I've had a lot of, I saw a therapist about it, and I remember I had really bad insomnia. Like I would couldn't go to sleep, didn't want to go to sleep. It was that bad. And I would see like people, like I would see things. But when I went to my therapist, I remember him saying, what do you take to go to sleep? And I'm like, NyQuil. I take NyQuil. And he's like, what can happen is you can take so much NyQuil to where it makes you think that you're seeing things. And so he was like, I think maybe that's what's going on is you're not seeing things. The NyQuil is giving you delusions because I was taking that to go to sleep. I was just, you know, I didn't take a pill. It's like, oh, let me take some NyQuil so I can finally go to sleep. So he was like, but my mom's kind of like your mom. It's kind of like, she believes, no, you saw that happen. You're just real sensitive and, you know, and it's never happened again. Like I've never had an experience in years, you know, but yeah, the paralysis, I just never. But I did see some. I remember I did see there was like an image, like it was freaked me out.
Yeah, no, it's a trippy experience. But you know what? Like once I started getting it so much and it started annoying me, like I would just like I'd wake up hella irritated, like because it was happening a lot. So I started trying to figure out like what triggered it. So I ended up figuring out that it really gets triggered when I sleep face up. So I used to sleep face up all the time. So, you know, with my ex, you know, when I was living with her, she, you know, I would tell her like, hey, you know, it's like, I realized that every time I have sleep paralysis, I'm sleeping face up. So then I was just like, let me stop. So I started sleeping face down and I stopped getting it. Like, I don't get it no more. Like, yeah. And then we tested it one time. I was like, hey, I'm gonna sleep face up. Let me see if, you know, let me know. So, and yeah, I passed out. She said as soon as I started breathing, that I started mumbling or like, and I don't remember having it, but I remember her waking me up and saying, "Hey, you were having it," and I was like, "What the fuck?" I was tripped out. So that was my way of figuring out, like, okay, what was triggering it on my end. So, but it's kind of just. It's like I said, it's when your consciousness wakes up before your body does, and you know, in your scenario, it's basically like if like me, like also I smoke a lot before I go to sleep, so I'm in a deep sleep. So there's gonna be times where you know, my consciousness is gonna be awake, but my body's so high that I'm not catching up on time. And in your case, you know, you're taking so much NyQuil that your body's not catching on with your consciousness as soon as it wakes up. So you know, the doctor kind of was. You know, he should have just told you, hey, you know, you just in a deep ass sleep. But you know, I believe doctor, you know, he's trying to get his money. You know how it goes.
Oh yeah, he would, and he did. He prescribed me some of these sleeping pills, you know, and so you know, absolutely. And I went in there with like, I don't want no medication. I don't want you giving me this, but he did. And the thing was, he was like, we got to get you to go to sleep. You're up. I mean, I would be up like 24 hours. I
Dang.
would not go. I would be up, and then I try to catch a nap before the kids, when the kids go to schools, kind of catch. I mean, I was messed up. It was really bad, but it did help. I got some sleep. Stopped taking NyQuil. Haven't taken that, and since I found out that that can happen to you, but yeah, he got me. He got me. Got a prescription, but I
No, I
got
was
some
just
sleep.
playing.
But he did. He got me. He did get me. I got some sleep. I want to ask
No.
you just before we close this out. You do tattoos. What should people consider before getting a tattoo?
Um,
Before getting like their
make,
first tattoo?
if it's the very first tattoo, I would consider it. You get it. Don't get it. Damn, I don't know, to be real, because all my clients have already tattoos.
Right.
But I would just say, really think about what you want to get, because once you get one tattoo, you're gonna want to get another tattoo, and then you want to just think ahead of time, like so a lot of people will start off like, I want to get this on my chest, and they start building from there. But I feel like if you just think about what you want your chest to look like, you can build from there. Because I, like my boy, I did his whole neck. When I first started tatting, I was tatting him. He didn't have no tattoos on his neck, so I did a big bear on his neck, and then from there we just started adding stuff to the point where we ended up just making the whole theme around it. But then I look at his neck and I just be like, man, I wish we could have figured out the theme of this before I put that big California bear on his neck, because it kind of throws off a lot of the tattoo. Right. So it's just basically just put a lot of thought in what you're gonna get. Right. But and another thing, if it's a significant other's tattoo you're gonna get, make sure you get it small enough to where you can cover it up. Right. Because you feel me? I'm not trying to be negative. No, but 80% of the time you're not gonna want that tattoo there anymore. Right. So that's my only advice. If you're getting someone else's name, just make sure that it's for sure, which you won't know all the time, but don't just jump into getting your significant other tattoo right away. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't trip. Like, it's business for me. So if you want to do something like that, run it. But that's my only thing. Like, that's something I do get, is I get a lot of requests for cover-ups of names. Okay. So, my husband, that'll. His bucket list was to get tattoos, because he'd never had tattoos. And so I remember years before he got tattoos, he would go on an app and like add what he wanted. So what he's loves music, but he's into like heavy metal music, like heavy metal music. So he wanted to do that is him. Like, first one he got was a Slayer on his back, and he decided to do a what did he call it, a death code or whatever, where it's he has all of his back is tattooed with like all of the bands that he listened to growing up. So he has like a Metallica with Cliff Burton right in the middle. He's got like this symbol of heavy metal for life. And then he has like Led Zeppelin he got here, and he got Black Sabbath here. So he's building this death coat that he's been doing and spent a lot of money on it. But that's always been his thing. And he loves tattoos. So we were talking about me getting tattoos, and I'm just too, I don't think I can deal with it. I don't think so. Like, I would love a sleeve, but I know once you put that needle and start carving into me, I know I'm not gonna be able to do it. So I'm like, baby, you do it. You just do it. So there's certain places in people's bodies that hurt more than others. Sleeves is always like probably the least painful out of a lot of stuff. Yeah, like, to be real, face tattoos, like I got one right here. This one I didn't feel it, nothing. Like, it was just felt like I just felt the buzzing, and then that was it. And then my sleeve, I did I don't know if you can see, I did majority of these tats.
You did that?
Own. Huh?
You did that?
I did all these, and then I did my chest too. I tatted up my own chest, and these didn't hurt. Like, I'm so focused on the doing it that is like, if you just think of something else and not of the pain, you're not gonna, like, if you're really focused like on the pain, then it's gonna hurt. But like, the sleeves me doing my own sleeve didn't hurt. Like, it really was nothing. Now, when I did my chest, that shit hurt. Like, I almost tapped out. Like, I'm sitting there shaking, doing it. But then, my boy, I did his rib. Anything in the chest, rib, like around the collarbone or the neck hurt. Those all hurt. They're
Okay.
always gonna hurt, you know.
Okay.
So and then like I did one of my boys' ribs. I did his whole across his stomach,
Yeah.
and he was ready to tap out. He was ready to start swinging on me. He was getting so mad. Like it was a very hostile environment that day, but you know, like but yeah, so you ain't got no tattoos?
No, no tattoos, none
So
whatsoever.
hey, well, hey,
I,
when you're
you know,
ready, let me know, man.
you know,
Clock in.
I absolutely will. I feel like I could trust you more than just going to a rando and getting a tattoo. So just know I
Nah.
may come through when I get, you know, he would love for me to. He's like, you know, I think it'd be great. He's like, just go to your safe place. He's like, when he goes there, he'll videotape and he'll just sit there and just they'll put music on for him and he'll just, you know, sit there and get the tattoo. And he said the one that he got on his chest, one here and one here, he said that's when it, oh, I got you. There you go.
Oh, I thought
But he
my
was
phone
like,
died. I was
that's, did it die?
no, I thought it
Oh,
died.
okay.
That's why I was
Okay.
like, oh shit. I
Okay.
put
But
the
no, I
charger
will
on.
come to you when I'm brave enough and know what I want. But I definitely know I did want just like a little sleeve, like from here to here, you know, just, I don't know what it would be, probably music or something. Before we go, shut it down, please. Shout outs, anything I didn't bring up that you want to mention, please.
Man, shout out. I got an album dropping, another album dropping in. I'm trying to get it out by the end of May,
Okay.
but it's a joint
Yeah.
album with my boy. Shout out my boy, the real Picasso 916.
Okay.
It's a joint album with him. That's my boy from Tennessee. I just met him in the beginning of the year, and we
Nice.
clicked. Like he was like, that's my dog. We finished this whole project in about like 2 months and a half, and
Wow.
it's already done. I just got to go back and do some final touches on it. It's 11 songs, and it's me and him going on there, and it's his people, my people on there, all collaborating
Nice.
on there. So be on the lookout. It's called The Fake Weekend. So be
Okay.
on the lookout for that by me and Picasso. Shout out Sac Reaction. You know, we back in the building. So I got my other podcast on the side. And the love we've been getting back for that is crazy. Shout out Javis. Shout out Payday 916. Shout out DJ Bowie. You know, DJ Bowie is a new guest host. You know, I mean, not guest host. He's a new also host, part of the team.
Okay.
So it's 4 of us now holding it down. So be
Nice.
on the lookout for that. We're going to be doing a lot of reactions, which we would love to have you come through as a guest. You know, that'll be dope. You know,
Let me
like,
know when, you know,
hey,
absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
I'd love to interview the interviewer. Like that's one thing I love seeing is like you never, you know, you always see people from platforms interviewing people, but they never have their own interview. So
Right.
that's one thing I also want to touch bases on. Like that's what we do on Sac Reacts. We react to you know, we interview videographers.
Okay.
We interview you know, anybody. Even we had a sponsorship by Humble Root. You know, they're a weed company.
Wow.
We interviewed them. You know, it's like we do local businesses at that too. You
Okay.
feel me? So you know, like we'll try to set that up. We'll get you in there. You know, see
Yeah,
where we can
please.
have you pull up,
Absolutely.
and then we'll make sure, you know, we'll keep it to, because we usually turn up in the environment, so there's
No,
smoke in
please
the
turn
air.
up.
But
Please turn up.
no,
Please turn
okay,
up.
so it just,
Please,
you know,
please
I didn't
turn
know
up.
if it was, you know, for your
No, no,
fan
no, no,
base,
no,
you
no,
know,
no.
the
No, 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 no,
professionalism,
no.
but because you know we be smoking on the live and
Yeah,
all. I
it's
mean, on the
yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah,
So
no, no,
yeah,
no,
so
no.
shout out Sac Reacts. You know, I'm doing the tattooing. That's blasphemyinc.com. I mean Blasphemy Inc. And then I also got the Sac Reacts. And then shout out fuck, I got this other platform that nobody really fucking knows about. Damn, I don't even know if I should. You know what? I'm gonna give you the exclusive. You
Okay,
know, so
okay,
only
okay,
motherfuckers that will see this interview
okay.
know that this is my platform. I think you know the page. You follow the page. It's called Ooze for You.
Oh,
So
yeah, I follow that.
yeah. So that's my platform on the side. But
Okay,
that's something I'm trying to build up, like in the
okay.
background cuts. Nobody knows it's me. Like only motherfuckers that see this interview will know it's me. Only like I swear to God. So only like 7 other people know it's me. But I've had a lot of individuals message me trying to be like, hey, bro, who's this? Who's this? Because, you know, I show a lot of love. I make like little mini commercials for artists on there too, you know, promoting their
Okay,
shit, their
okay.
music and all that. So they've reached out like, hey, who's this? Who's this? And I'm trying to keep it, you know, I'm gonna
Right.
keep it. I'm gonna keep it on the low. I won't be announcing it anytime soon either. So,
Okay.
like I said, the only people that gonna know is the ones that see this interview, and probably maybe like in 2 years, you know, I might, you know, do a little reveal and all that. But it's, you know, every time I post a video, a lot of, you know, people, I be getting followers up in there. So that's my
Okay.
plan with that also, to build
Okay.
that up, because eventually, you know, that can be, you know, that's a that's revenue, retrieving right there eventually. If I can get it to a point where, it gets hella big, I can promote my music, my artists at that, and I can make money on the side. So it's just I'm trying to touch every aspect of everything. I'm doing tattoos, I got my podcast, I got my fucking platform where I'm promoting music, and I got my artist page, so man, clock in, man. I'm trying to do everything. And I mix, I do all my projects, all my singles, everything. I made every cover. So I do graphics too, all that shit.
Oh, do you really?
So, yeah, I do graphics. I do all my mixing for any artists that have, I know people that like recording their songs on BandLab on their phone. I can mix all that. Like, that's another thing I have, for artists. If they have songs that they've recorded, but they're all raw files, they can send them to me for, a small percent, a little fee. And then I'll mix it up, send them right back to them, have them sound a nuki, So I'm trying to touch all aspects in this music industry shit. You feel me?
I'm with you on that. I'm trying to do that too. Just kind of grow this, and then I have another project or podcast that I'm working on with someone, and it's another idea that we have. You know what I mean?
You be doing the movie shit.
Yeah. So I have to have you on there as well. The movie stuff. If you love movies, Movie Lovers Unite and Rossi Talks. That's we're with a network that we just joined a few months ago. We're under Unfiltered, as a matter of fact. There we go. I meant to put that there. Unfiltered Studios, and they have a network of channels and different podcasts under them. So they've been great. They actually, thank you, Unfiltered Studios. They just added Rossi's Clubhouse to their list of podcasts. So it's nice to be represented by them. And so just doing the same thing, trying to network, and get sponsors. Get sponsors.
Hell yeah, that's how. And that's another thing I was gonna say. Yeah, we shouted you out too on the Sac React. So we was giving you flowers on there on our first
I really appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate everyone that's subscribing, everyone that is enjoying what I'm doing here. I'm just a young lady that had a chance to get into podcasting because things weren't going good with acting during COVID. And I started this. I'm actually a very quiet person, very shy person. Very to myself tend to be, but I didn't know I could do this, and to be able to do something that you really enjoy, like music. I love music. I can talk music all day, especially when it gets to hip hop. You got to shut me up because I can go all day about what I love, what album, how it made me. It makes me feel a certain way. And hip hop is kind of therapy to me in a way. There's certain songs I listen to, and it makes me look at things differently or get out of whatever mood I'm in, and I'm also a lover of jazz and all that. I'm a music lover, but Afiliyado, I appreciate you coming through, AKA Sac God. You guys can go back on Rossi's Clubhouse. You can see his first interview. Gosh, that interview has so many hits on that interview when we did that. When we did these first shows, I mean, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh,
I was watching some of the clips, and then I was just like, I've been working out since then, so I was like, damn, my neck was looking hella big right now. I'm looking like, okay, I've been losing a little weight, you feel me? But we trying to get back in there, I'm trying to get ready for the summer.
Absolutely. Same here. Yeah. I mean, I hate riding a treadmill, but my husband told me when he got it for me, he's like, don't let this become a hanger. You've been bothering me to get a little exercise bike. Don't let it get dust on it. So I got to get back in there too, because I've been home for a minute, but you guys will everything. All of Afiliyado's links will be in the description of the video. That you're always welcome to come back through when you with the new album. Let me know, Rossi. Me and my guy want to come back through. I can send as many as 4 links out. We can have a panel on here. So just to let you know.
Oh, that's hard. Yeah, because
I do that as well.
Okay, yeah, because we're gonna have to set something up with my boy Picasso, because he be watching your shit too. And I told him he was trying. I wanted to get him come in today, but we couldn't get it done. So I was like, you know what? When the album dropped, we gonna reach out to her, try to clock in, and get that going. But yeah, man. So man, I appreciate you for having me again, man. It was we got to chop it up about a lot of things. I still feel there's a lot of shit we could have chopped it out, but we've been on this motherfucker for so long.
I know.
We got shit going, but it's all good. We gonna keep in touch. We gonna keep it going, man.
Yes.
And you're doing a good thing for the city, man.
Thank you.
The artists actually fucking with you too, so it's only right we all just, support each other at the end of the day. And another thing, I got a show May 26th at Power
Okay.
Inn skate park. So
Oh,
there's a
really?
skate park there's a skate park off Power Inn and by Bicentennial. There's a whole bunch of ramps and shit. Like
Okay.
it's clean as
Dope.
it's a dope environment because like they're gonna have DJ and all that. And while you're performing, it's like people all around you skating. Like it's
That's
a dope
awesome.
environment.
That's
So
awesome.
it's from 4 to 10 p.m. at night.
Okay.
It's gonna be a lot of dope performers out there. So yeah, that's May 26th at
Okay.
Power and Skate Park, and then I'm supposed to be performing at I forgot it. It's this cafe. It's called shout out Lil Nuke. She just put me on. It's on June 7th. I can't think of the place, but it's just follow me on my Instagram, and then you'll see me
Absolutely.
posting the flyers. You
You
feel
guys will
me?
be able to follow him on his Instagram. Just to let you know, this is episode 19 of Rossi's Clubhouse. Also, for my 20th episode, we're going to catch up with Yums Awkward. He will be here next week. And then on May 26th, Mello the Man's coming through. All right. It's been a while since
Hey,
Mello's been here. He has so much going on. Mello and I just I love this kid. He's a good kid. This kid is old for his age, and he is just so talented. So, and I'm loving seeing how he's progressed and how far he's come with this music. So I can't
yeah,
wait to catch up with him. And in June, you guys, it's a surprise. I got a lot of things going on. Also, I have really quick. I want to mention this young man's name. I do have actors coming in. Let's see, 11th Child Studios. They'll be coming through. They're really busy filming. They were supposed to be here last week. They weren't able to make it. Really, really busy. So I have them coming through. They're doing a lot of things big here in Sacramento. And I have another actor coming through. He'll be in here in June. Hayla V is going to open up the summer for us. She'll be back. So you guys will see some of your favorites and a lot of new people that's coming through. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm going to put an overlay on you. Don't leave, okay?
yeah.
Thank you so much, you guys. It's live right now. You guys can watch the replay as soon as I close it down, and it will soon be coming to wherever you listen to your podcast. You can find Rossi's Clubhouse. Please, guys, please share the stream, like the stream. That's how we grow. It's free, and also go up to wherever you listen to your podcast. Please go to Spotify, go to Good Pods, go to Apple, and subscribe to your girl Rossi's Clubhouse. Sorry, Rossi's Clubhouse, and give me a 5-star review. Thank you so much, and we
Ah.
are out.